Well, we want to welcome you to our 20th Crossroads. All right, let's do this again.
Nice. Yeah. I like it. It's going good so far.
Yeah, really.
Action.
And frankly, it's in need of repair. I don't even think we can fix it.
Good morning, Crossroads family. It's your day. Come on out.
We want to welcome you to our 20th anniversary celebration of Crossroads Community Church. Wanda and I are just going to share our journey with you about how we started and how God got us to Winchester. And so we thank you for joining us in celebration, and we look forward to telling our story.
So how did it start out?
Well, I never really anticipated planting a church.
I didn't either.
We were just pastoring a congregation, doing well, and it just seemed like the Lord was just stirring a nest, and He wanted us to move. We were obedient and resigned. Then we began to ask the Lord, what next? And there was a lady that came to us after that Sunday, Wanda and I resigned, and she said, I heard the word crossroads. We certainly didn't know what that meant. And a few weeks after that, in our devotional time, and we just again, that word popped up again. And then it was your dad that came to us.
He actually called us on the phone on a Sunday afternoon. He said, I think I have a scripture verse for you.
Yeah, Jeremiah 6:16.
Stand at the crossroads and look.
And so he called and gave us that verse. And at that moment, I realized that a year earlier, someone in the congregation had given us a picture with that very verse on. And suddenly we began to connect the dots that God was doing something with this word, crossroads. But we still had no idea where it was at. So we began a journey of asking the Lord, praying, riding up and down Interstate 81. Someone suggested that we should try Winchester. So we tried, and we were small town folks. We thought Winchester was too big. And so we went back home. And then somebody else suggested Winchester. So we came back and we bought the demographic study this time.
Because it had been several months that we'd been looking and we really didn't know. So we went to the Chamber of Commerce and got this thick book. And we turned right in the middle to the historical section. There it had a little map of the Winchester, and it said Winchester has been known as and continues to be known as a strategic crossroads area. And it really struck us.
It did. It just felt like the Holy Spirit said, this is where I want you.
We might as well have been going overseas because it felt like when we moved here, we were on a mission field.
Oh yeah, I remember going around town with a phone book and a map.
And of course, when we came here, we did everything then in the house.
Right.
Once we moved here. Church in the house, school in the house, the office in the house. Everything was in the house. So I guess we started the first house church at Crossroads.
Yes, we did. So we started with 5 families, and it wasn't long until we outgrew our basement. I began building relationships with several pastors around town, and one of those was Pastor Lee at Agape, and he invited us to come and just do church at an off time. And so we went over there and
we went upstairs first in
the
upper
log house
rooms, and had worship there.
So we soon outgrew that room. We went to a middle room upstairs, and we were still meeting on Sunday nights then. Then we outgrew that room, and we went to Saturday nights down in the basement in their main sanctuary area. We were probably about 8 or 9 months into starting the church. That would have been 1999.
In the basement.
In the basement.
I remember that was one of the lowest times because it was you and Sherry and I, we were leading worship, and we were doing it like the Sunday morning deal. We were the sermon and the worship and everything, but it was like 20, 25 people. And I remember we got to the point where we were really seriously considering going back in the house because we thought if we're not going to grow, maybe we jumped the gun, maybe we need to do something. And that's when something happened.
Yeah, we had heard about this church that the pastor just resigned and left town suddenly. We had one person from that church coming, and we didn't know if they would show up or not. And he kept telling us they would. And then that particular Saturday night, how many came?
Seems like it was 20 or 25.
So then it came time that we realized we needed to go to Sunday morning, more traditional time. And by that time, I think we had linked up with Dove, and who we're still a part of.
Yep.
Been really blessed, part of Dove for 18 years now. I really remember telling the Lord that we needed 30 committed people in order to go to Sunday morning. And we had maybe, 15 to 20 at that time. On Saturday night, then we went to, where'd we go? Daniel Morgan. Yeah, Daniel Morgan. That's it. Get it straight.
I can't keep track. How many times have you moved?
7 times. We set the target date, and we were looking for a place that we would go. I liked Daniel Morgan School. It was central, it was close to where we lived. And so I walked into Daniel Morgan and met the, probably the principal at that time. He suggested a place up front. It was kind of dark and dingy, and I just didn't connect with it. And so then he took me over to it's changed now, but it was called the cafetorium at that time. It was all open, skylights and big windows, and I was like, that's us.
Yep.
That's the place I want to be. We set the target date, I think it was September of the following year after we moved, and we started, and we had 30 committed people. For the next 5 years then, we would set up and tear down.
That was really a highlight because that room, whenever I think about it, it was so bright and you could really worship in it. Of course, we began the set up and tear down tradition for 5 years.
One of our early members, Keith Will, I remember him telling me that he was kind of in charge of moving the equipment from our office space, which is a Red Apple Deli. Then he told me that probably less than 6 times that it was raining during that 5-year period of time, during the exact time we were moving equipment. If that's not God, that's amazing.
That's cool. Yeah, the Red Apple Deli, that was our home place because we didn't have any offices at Daniel Morgan. But we met there. Bobby had his office there. We did worship team practice there. We had our meetings. We had harp and bowl gatherings, and that was our gathering place for those 5 years.
It was a great place.
Come out here once, was it for
Yeah, we did baptisms out here. So then Daniel Morgan, they needed to renovate. They were going to renovate, so we needed to leave there. We were saying, God, where next? So I was praying and asking the Lord, and our neighbor, where we were living, she worked downtown at Shenandoah University building. And they had a little auditorium in there, and I thought, maybe we can meet there. It'd be a little tight, but maybe we can try it. The person in charge there said, that just won't work for us. It was other things besides the size of space. But what they did was they put us in contact with somebody at the main campus, Shenandoah University main campus. And the lady that was put us in contact, she was a Christian lady, and she said, I'm going to do all I can to help you get established here for a period of time on Shenandoah University campus. Other pastors in town would tell me, how in the world did you meet there as a church on the Shenandoah University campus? I've tried to do that. Other pastors knew in town.
Right.
I didn't really try. I was just following, the relationship of how the Lord led.
Oh, we
came in that door.
Yeah, we did.
We came in that door. Welcome to Crossroads.
Oh yeah, is it still here? Oh my goodness, that's great. Sure enough. I know, it lasted 3 months, but
Yeah.
it was a great time. And then realized they weren't going to renew. We're like, oh God, we're next. You know, the blessing of building relationships with other pastors in town is I had another pastor friend, Pastor Ross Halbersma from New Hope Alliance Church. We needed a place to go, and so he said, you can come over and use my place. Again, we switched from Sunday mornings to Sunday nights.
That was another change. You know, I remember in the whole journey, if I look back, that was probably one of the lowest points in the last 20 years, simply because we had been moving and even the big bright places that we were going back to a Sunday night, and the sanctuary didn't have many windows in, and I just remember it feeling like, oh man, are we moving backwards? And it was a hard transition for a lot of us.
It was summertime, so people were okay with meeting Sunday nights, and then I just remember some of our key people, when the time changed, and then the kids went back to school, they're like, we love this church, but this is just not working for us. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, okay, Lord. Where next? Mm-hmm. Yep, this is where we're at for summertime in the evenings. And so obviously this plaza that we're in now was, we would frequent it. On the other side, where we are now, on the other side where Food Max is right now, there was a children's gym called Jam and Jim.
And we took our kids there when we first moved here.
We did. That closed down in like November, and we were hunting for a place. That was about 30,000 square feet in that place. It would swallow us up. So we got the idea to go in and between the posts that are in there to put up curtains.
To enclose it, and that was the big exciting part that I had. I ordered from JCPenney 50 pairs of burgundy curtains, and we strung wire between the poles, and we hung it down, and we had a tent of meeting. I mean, it was actually kind of cool.
It was kind of cool, but it got old.
Yeah.
One of the memories I have of being in Jam and Jim is that the heaters were not that functional. And so every Sunday morning, winter, spring, and the snow, I would go up on top of the roof and I would manually start one of the heaters so that we could have heat or coolant in the summertime. So what a memory.
Yeah, just had to add that onto the pastor's job description.
Exactly. So when we went into that place, Jam and Jim, what I really wanted is the space that we're in now. It was 2005 where construction was booming. It took us 3 months just to get our door in that you walk in today. Just couldn't get anybody to come and do it.
Yep.
It was really a mess. But we had contractors and cleaned it up. Obviously, we put walls in and we started to build this place out.
Viewer discretion is advised.
Hi, I'm Ty Alger, and welcome to Extreme Church Makeover. It's cold in here, man. I am freezing. I had to bring my own wood this morning to help build a fire so we could get warm. The heater doesn't work. I mean, this place is in need of repair. Let's find another place. We've been meeting in an abandoned children's gym, and frankly, it's in need of repair. I don't even think we can fix it. I mean, take a look. We've got ceiling tiles that are coming down, and we've got trash cans collecting water, and we've got a situation over here that is way out of control. We've got pots and pans down on the ground collecting drips, and it's just a real mess. We can't fix it. Let's go to a new place.
Good morning, Crossroads. Crossroads family, it's your day. Come on out.
Where are they at? Where's my support team? I mean, didn't somebody prompt them to come out? Where are they at? Is this the right address? I don't even see an address. Well, let's go check out the place. Well, here we are. It looks like they've already begun. We've got the sanctuary framed in and ready to go. We've got places that we're building. We're going to have bathrooms over here. They've already cut in for the sewer line to go through. We're going to have offices back here. Come on with me. We're going to check this place out because this is an amazing thing that God is doing. Right here is going to be my office. You'll see there's a little pit there, and I plan to have a special counseling area for people that when things don't go well, hey, just hit that trap door and away they go. Over here is where the offices are going to be, more offices. We're going to put a kitchen right in this area. It's going to be awesome. We'll have some great meals together. Back in here, we're already making steps for access for a ramp for those in wheelchairs to come out. We're going to have children back here in this area, a nice nursery, a mother's room that's going to take place right there in that section. They'll be able to see out there and be with their babies at the same time. We got children back here in this area and a kids church. Hey, kids church, you're going to be back. Isn't this awesome? You're going to love this. And youth, how about pulsers? Can I hear it for the pulsers? We're back in this area, right back here. We're going to take out this wall. Yeah, bring your hammers. Come on, pulsers, let's do it. We're going to have a great time together. All right.
And so, and again, it was about a 2-year period of time. Things were really getting ready to be finished up and to come over here. And so one Sunday, I don't know what came over me.
It's just that gift of faith again.
I just stood up in front of the congregation down there and I said, next Sunday, we are going to meet in that new place. It's going to be unplugged. We're not going to have sound system in. We're going to have lights. We got chairs, but we're going to meet over there. And I, said amen on the service. And all of a sudden, someone came to me and said, you know what? You have no finals at all. None of your subs have signed off. The city inspector has not signed off for you to occupy that space. And I went, oh my goodness, what have I done? We had just totally missed the fact that we didn't have any fire alarms. We just totally missed it. Nobody caught it. And the fire marshal said, you cannot publicly meet in this place if you have no fire alarm system. So I was like, we're done. This was like Wednesday. I called the company that specialized in putting that in. It just so happened that they hired a guy. His children went to the same school that ours did. And he was just brought in. And he said, you know what? I'm going to do anything in my power to allow you to meet on Sunday, but I don't know if I can. And I remember Thursday of that week praying and saying, Lord, what's going to happen? And I remember specifically hearing God saying, 8 o'clock Thursday night, you'll know something. I just trusted the Lord, and around 7:30, 8 o'clock, I got a call from this gentleman, and he said, I'm going to bring my team in Friday, and we're going to work all through the night if necessary, and you are going to have a working fire alarm so that you can meet on Sunday. Whew. I think that's the week my hair turned gray.
I think it was turning gray before then.
Oh, okay. Well,
It was cutting it close, but we made it.
we made it in. It was February of it's been 10 years now, so
Yes.
2008 that we moved in this present facility. And after that, it was really, the subs that we hired, they just did basic paint. And then we had everybody that was over a particular area go and really fine tune their area. Like the nursery people painted the nursery, the youth did the youth, the Pulse did the youth, the kids church. It was just the prayer people.
Yeah,
it was just really great to see the.
Everyone took ownership of their space and they wanted to give it personality because we had not been able to do that anywhere else that we were at.
Exactly. The first time that we could really take ownership in what we're doing, and everybody was great. It was amazing.
Yeah. One of the highlights for me, especially being in this new place and even as a congregation, was the first 21-day community fast that we had in this place. The vision that we'd always had when we came, pastor the community, not just pastor church. And so The community church was always on our heart. But when we launched that first 21-day fast, I think everyone was blown away, because I don't think there's ever been as many people in this building as what it was that launch Sunday. I mean, the entire sanctuary was full, the foyer was full, the kitchen, the prayer room, even the hallways, everywhere we could squeeze people in. That was the hunger that was in this community. That really marked us. Walking through that as a community, that changed us, and it really deepened who we've become now in terms of wanting the presence of God here.
That's right.
You know, another part of Crossroads that has marked us is the worship. You know, there's been times where we've had as many as 10 people on the worship team, and then we've been down to just 3. It's been fun. You know, we even at one point had the Crossroads Street Band that we played for a first night Winchester, and we'd go out in the community and do different things. And worship has always marked us as a church, and it's really awesome to see the next generation come up and new faces come in to carry on that tradition. You know, through the years, we've always wanted the church to grow. We often think of the church growing big in terms of numbers, but what we have seen is just how deep we've grown in terms of people. You know, we've gone through a lot of sifting, but yet the quality of people that we have now, and you think about the leaders that God has brought to us and how they are impacting this community in the fields of education, in the police department, in government, in the marketplace. I mean, and they are taking church to the community.
That's right.
It's incredible what God has done. We weren't thinking that maybe in the beginning.
Right.
But yet that's the journey that we've been on, and to see through all the sifting who we have become, it's been a joy. I mean, it really is a celebration.
And I'm just excited for the future.
Amen.
Crossroads here in Winchester. Well, I just wanted to thank you for being a part of our celebration here, our 20th anniversary, and know that what you contribute has been a blessing to us.
Just imagine what the next 20 years are going to be like.
Exactly. I'm probably focused on the next 5, but the next 20, who knows? It's going to be amazing.
I think it's going to be fun.